Empúries, formerly known by its Spanish name Empúries, was a town on the Mediterranean coast of the Catalan comarca of Alt Empordà in Catalonia, Spain. It was founded in 575 BC by Greek colonists from Thracia with the name of Mu-Pi-O-Micron Rho-Iota-O-Micron Nu. It was later occupied by the Romans, but in the early Middle Ages, when its exposed coastal position left it open to marauders, the town was abandoned. The ruins are midway between the Costa Brava town of La Rascala and the tiny village of Sant Martí. There are good car parking facilities and the site may be reached by a traffic-free coastal walk from La Rascala. History: Empúries was founded on a small island at the mouth of the river Fluvia, in a region inhabited by the indigetes. This city came to be known as the Palliapolis, the Old City, when, towards 550 BC, the inhabitants moved to the mainland, creating the Neapolis, the New City. After the conquest of Phrygia by the Persian king Cyrus II in 530 BC, the new city's population increased considerably through the influx of refugees. In the face of strong pressure from Carthage, the city managed to retain its independent Hellenic character. Political and commercial agreements were concluded with the indigenous population long settled in the nearby city of Indica. Situated as it was on the coastal commercial route between Massalia and Tartessus in the far south of Hispania, the city developed into a large economic and commercial center as well as being the largest Greek colony in the Iberian Peninsula. During the Punic Wars, Empúries allied itself with Rome, and Publius Cornelius Scipio initiated the conquest of Hispania from this city in 218 BC. After the conquest of Hispania by the Romans, Empúries remained an independent city-state. However, in the civil war between Pompey and Julius Caesar, it opted for Pompey, and after his defeat, it was stripped of its autonomy. A colonia of Roman veterans, named Empúrii, was established near Indica to control the region. From that time onwards, Empúries began to decline, obscured by the power of Tarraco and Barcino. At the end of the 3rd century it became one of the first cities in Spain to admit Christian evangelists. In that century, too, the Greek town was abandoned while the Roman town survived as a mint and the largely ceremonial seat of a coastal county, Castello d'Empúries, until the Viking raids of the mid-9th century. Coinage began again under Count Hugh II of Empúries. Archaeological remains. Although the precise location of the town was known since the 15th century, it was only in the 20th century that systematic excavations were carried out. The first official excavations started in 1908 and were held by the Junta de Museos de Barcelona and directed by Emili Gandia I Ortega under the instructions of Josep Puig I Cadafalch and Per Bosch Gimpera. These excavations are still going on. The Palliapolis, the island on which the Palliapolis was situated, is now part of the mainland and is the site of the medieval village of Sant Martí d'Empúries. The former harbour has silted up as well. Hardly any excavation has been done here. After the founding of the Neapolis, the old city seems to have functioned as an acropolis. Strabo mentions a temple dedicated to Artemis at this site. The Neapolis consisted of a walled precinct with an irregular ground plan of 200 by 130 meters. The walls were built, and repeatedly modified in the period from the 5th to the 2nd century BC. To the west the wall separated the Neapolis from the Iberian town of Indica. In the southwest part of the city were various temples, replacing an older one to Artemis, such as a temple to Asclepius. A Fuma marble statue was found. In the southeast part was a temple to Zeus Serapis. The majority of the excavated buildings belong to the Hellenistic period. In addition to houses, some of which are decorated with mosaics and wall paintings, a number of public buildings have come to light, such as those in the Agora and the harbour mole. In the Roman period, Thermae and a Paleo-Christian basilica were built. To the south and east of the new city was an area that served as an acropolis. The Roman city. Of the Roman city, only some 20% has been excavated thus far. It has the typical orthogonal layout of Roman military camps, with two principal roads meeting at the Forum. The Roman city is considerably larger than the Greek one. During the Republican period, a temple was built dedicated to the Capitoline Triad, Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva. During the reign of the Emperor Augustus, a basilica and curia were added. In the eastern part of the town, a number of large houses have been excavated, with an inner courtyard, numerous annexes, floor mosaics, and paintings. In the 2nd century, the town was surrounded by a wall without towers. An amphitheatre and palaestra were built outside the wall. Necropolis. The necropolis of Empúries remained in use for a very long period, from the 7th century BC up to the Middle Ages, but many tombs were looted. Almagro wrote 2 books collecting all data on the majority of cemeteries in the area. There are 4 types: Early Greek and Iberian, Late Republican, Early Roman Empire and Late Roman Empire. Early Greeks and Iberians' burials were located in the southern and western sides of Neapolis. The western sector was occupied by the so-called necropolis of the wall northeast. Inhumation predominated, while a third of burials were cremations. Late Republican. The ancient necropolis remained in use with inhumations and cremations, possibly Greek and indigenous from the Neapolis. Cremations predominated in another group, possibly of Roman origin, whose cemetery is located on the north side of the neighboring hill of Les Courts, located southwest of the city. This necropolis was in use particularly during the 2nd and 1st centuries BC. Archaeologists found small mounds built with square blocks of stone with the remains of cremation in the middle. Early Roman Empire. No burials have been found clearly from the 2nd quarter of the 1st century BC until the reign of Augustus. Cremation burials then predominated until the reign of Emperor Flavian around a hillside where the Roman city is located. Burial rituals changed in the 2nd century AD, with only inhumations found. Late Roman Empire. Precise chronologies are hampered by the lack of grave goods in tombs. The whole area of the ancient Greek city was filled with inhumation burials, perhaps related to the worship of the early Christian basilica or Cella Memoria, situated there. Burials are also in many of the ancient necropolis of earlier times and in new ones. It is possible they were related to the Roman villa located near them. There is a monument of El Castellet and nearby tombs.